Hello and welcome back, subscribers, and welcome new viewers. I have an offer for you today. If you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, you get twice a week videos for free. So, for those of you who have not seen this is my OC Human Animatics playlist. This is a compilation of my friends' and mine's characters that I decided to make a bunch of gift videos to explain and share the story that my friend and I had created. This story became a blender of throw everything in, mix it up, and see what happens, because we started off as a sort of high school, college, stereotypical romance type of thing to see what would happen, and turns out we ended up creating an entire multiverse, kind of like we're narrator gods in The Sims, and just grabbed our characters and threw them around, sprinkled in a bunch of angels and demons and demigods and stuff like that. So, most of my characters were just anime profile pictures and improvised story. So Oliver here became Caucasian pasty, stereotypical American, but he's not. I had to change that and fix it for story's sake and update his reference for diversity's sake, because not all of my characters are the same Caucasian white anime boy or girl or neckos, because that's mostly what they started out as. Oliver here is the tsundere friend of the group, where he shapeshifts mostly into a black wolf because he thinks he's intimidating, and he will bite your face off if he doesn't like you or doesn't know you, but once he gets to know you and you become friends, he will protect you with his life. He's pretty much that friend who, if you went to a party and got shit-faced drunk, he'd be there to take you home and chauffeur you and look after you. He also needed something mystical, so I decided to give him purple eyes for extra distinguishing and a tan tone skin. Next we have Talia. Her old picture, she just looks like a chubby potato with burnt hair. She's meant to have just sort of like a really pale blonde hair and sort of like golden eyes, and I decided to give her the most tragically confusing backstory because she's also been through hell and high waters when she later meets Makoto, who later becomes her husband, and they have 2 kids. I also couldn't find proper references because she's just an average 115-pound young adult who later becomes like 180 pounds when she has the kids, but most of them were just big titty and booty anime girls, so I couldn't figure out how to shape her, so I based her mostly off of my figure. I also had to sprinkle in a little bit of a secret there in the corner for her backstory, which I can go into more, but basically her old science teacher went crazy and decided to experiment with animal DNA to push the bounds of humans, and it went horrible for her, and it basically gave her a lot of trauma, but Makoto helped her through this, kind of. Now, these characters are in no particular order. Some of them are main characters and some of them are side characters, and a lot of this is me just kind of sprinkling in tidbits of their story. So if you want to learn more about any particular characters, I'd be more than happy to elaborate more, but the story would go on for a while because this story has been ongoing with me and my friend for over 2 years now, so there's a lot to throw in here. So this is just as many abbreviated kind of short bios about these characters and updates about them as I could. These 2 characters here are Lilica and Daisy, and they are sisters. When they were younger, when Lilica was only 16 and Daisy was 10, their parents had gotten into a very fatal car accident because a semi-truck had tipped over and crushed them. Unfortunately, some shrapnel had hit them in the chest, which caused them both to flatline before they had gotten to the hospital. Lilica was devastated, and thanks to a family friend, they were able to have some support so that they wouldn't have to go off to any sort of adoption agency, and Lilica demanded that once she turned 18, she got her own place so that she could look after Daisy herself, and Daisy, she resented this a little bit because she was tired of being treated like a little baby, and she became the goth girl. She hates people, but she found friends, and later her partner, Toby, and Lilica winds up with a bone demon named Demio, who I'll get into later. Then we have Aaron and Makoto. Quick rundown. Aaron is an asshole who started out as the popular kid who sold secretly drugged candy, and then winds up confessing that he loved Makoto, and he tried to become the popular kid and basically get everything he wanted. He lives in the shadow of a successor whose name is Nick, who I'll get into in another video, who winds up basically telling him he's stupid for trying to live in the shadow of somebody else, and then later on his friend and future business partner Fletcher also kicks his ass and tells him what for and knocks some sense into him, and then he later winds up dating Caleb, who's Talia's best friend. Makoto, on the other hand, has some shadows to his own backstory, who I'll get into with a character named Zenhauser, who's his uncle, who later tries to kidnap Talia and Makoto's daughter. Lots of crazy backstory. You can see that it started out as a normal story and wound up really insane. There's so much more that I could share about their stories. This is just a very quick abbreviation, because we've also made alternate timelines of what if Eren and Makoto wound up dating, or what if Eren and Talia wound up dating, and so many other characters. It's just a hodgepodge of fun. If you want more of this story, you can kind of watch the animatics and piece together some of this, but I have loads of other characters, and so does my friend, and I might do some future collaborations with them to bring in more of the story ideas, because I have tons of animatics ideas to kind of fill in the story, or just speed paints of fake anime screenshots to kind of share some ideas with you. Since I have so many characters, there will be more than just like part 2 and part 3, and there might also be spin-offs. Like I said, I'll make various videos, but in the meantime, check out some of my animation memes, my story times, my speed paints, and little YouTube shorts, fan art, and original content. And if you guys haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!